Hello, everyone. We hope you're having a great connections, and welcome to the What's New in Claims session. My name is Harmon Bola, and I'm the Senior Product Marketing Manager for Claims. I've been with Guidewire for a little over 4 years now, and even in this little short amount of time I've been here, I've gained a great appreciation for the vital role that each and every insurer plays in society. And with natural disasters on the rise, you really begin to understand the value and impact that each and every insurer has on society and really making people's lives normal. And I've made it a mission of mine here at Guidewire to really understand what makes our customers and the industry tick. And I've worked closely with our customers, our product teams, and industry analysts to understand to keep a really tight pulse on what's happening in our industry. So I'm really excited to share some of those insights with you today. And I'm going to hand it over to Jeremy to introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jeremy Karmolinski, Senior Product Manager for Claims. I actually started my career in property and casualty several years ago, including time spent as a field property adjuster for the National Catastrophe Team. Very similar to Laura Drabik, if you heard her on the main stage this morning, minus the perm. But came over to Guidewire about 6 years ago, and that experience still weighs heavily on me today, as now I have the opportunity to build and develop software for the P&C industry. So Harmon and I are really excited about today's session. It's great to get this level of turnout, so we're really looking forward to it, and thank you for being here. Hand it back over to Harmon.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeremy. This is a slide you probably have seen quite a bit already at Connections, but honestly, this is a great slide because basically what this means is we're going to be talking about some really cool things, especially in Jeremy's section, where he'll be talking about some of the future things that we're going to deliver for ClaimCenter. So just as a reminder, any future-looking features and functionalities which may be discussed in this session are covered under the Safe Harbor statement. So keep that in mind as we go through some of this content. So what we'll be covering during this session is a quick overview of our claims vision and strategy, what's new in ClaimCenter for Elysian and Flend releases, and then I'll be handing it over to Jeremy to cover some of the, again, cool things that we're working on as we move ahead into the future of claims. And then we'll be showcasing some of those capabilities in an upcoming demo. And then we'll open it up to our broader claims team who's here as well to address any questions that you folks may have. So with that, let's jump right in. Now, claims really are an intricate balance between efficiency, accuracy, and customer satisfaction. And doing these things well really defines a good claims organization versus a great one. But the truth of the matter is, doing all these three things together is extremely difficult. And changes in customer expectations and shifting market demands even present even more challenges. But at the same time, I truly believe that this is an opportunity for us to transform the traditional claim process. Now, I mentioned to you earlier that I've been involved heavily with our customers and industry analysts to kind of understand what makes our insurers tick, as well as what's happening in our industry. And we've all heard about the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, right? They've been substantial on all aspects of consumers' lives. And the P&C industry is not oblivious either to these type of effects, right? You think about just changes in customer expectations, right? And I'm a great example myself, right? Before COVID-19, I never used delivery services, right? Like your Instacarts or DoorDashes of the world, right? But when you were locked in your own home, you realize the value of those type of services, and that's changed the way I consume those type of services as well. And on a daily basis, I probably get a Instacart or a DoorDash delivery to my home. So if you just think about just changes in customer expectations, those are expanding into the insurance industry as well, right? So a LexisNexis study recently found that 60% of claims are now handled virtually due to the pandemic. And that's only going to continue to rise. Again, when your consumers get accustomed to those conveniences, they're going to start to want more of those type of virtual experiences as well. Right? Before COVID-19, guess what? Only 15% of claims were handled virtually. And 68% of millennials are open to filing claims, and they want that self-service and transparency throughout the claim process as well. And that, again, is going to extend to other generations as well, again, as customers and consumers begin to understand how convenient those type of services are. And in 2021, insurtech investment rose at an all-time high with over $15 billion in investment from startups to established players, really revolutionizing traditional claims processes and insurance. And these interruptions, again, are not just within the P&C industry itself, it's from outside sources as well. You think about IoT, that represents a tremendous opportunity for insurers. So by 2025, there'll be over 56 billion connected devices. So that's opening up new data streams and opportunities. Think about the potential there for insurers to tap into those type of data streams to make just claims efficient, but other aspects of their insurance business. And one of the things that actually during our connections that I've really heard from customers is the impact of inflation, right? Which I don't have on this slide in particular, but that is a major impact. Again, outside forces that are changing the way we do traditional insurance and just the cost of insurance itself, right? And AI is also continuing to transform claims as well. Half of all claims involve some level of AI tooling to drive automation, repair estimate, total loss, for example. And if we think about the future of claims, it's estimated by 2025, more than 60% of claims will be handled, triaged automatically, actually. So again, 2025, guess what? It's right around the corner. So you can just imagine the tremendous amount of change that's happening in our industry. Now, the struggle is the traditional claim process kind of struggles to keep pace with these changing customer expectations. Now, traditional claim processes are centered around the adjuster, right? They want to focus on processing claims efficiently and accurately. However, really changes in the market and shifts in the customer demands are requiring really a fundamental change to that traditional claim process to one that is now centered around the customer, right? Claims organizations really need to take a customer-centric approach, fully reimagining the customer experience and deliver upon customer expectations. Now, today's customers, they want fast and easy claims resolutions, proactive prevention, and just the right amount of digital interaction. So, to deliver upon those type of changes in the future of claims, we're combining ClaimCenter, our market-leading claim system, with the technologies that are really changing and transforming claims management. So we're focused on 4 main areas. So you can see all of them here, starting with experiences, automation, intelligence, and ecosystem. So we're working to deliver new experiences that are digital first and more customer-centric, and automation that's powered by artificial intelligence, and that will leverage Guidewire's workflow design tools, which you saw on the main stage, and we'll actually be showcasing some of those capabilities later in this presentation. And then intelligence, which will deliver and drive smarter and more intelligent claims decisions, and really empower a claims ecosystem with partners and insurtechs that are kind of intertwined within that claim process to deliver more and accurate and nicer claims experiences themselves. And we have already delivered upon many of these areas in the last 2 releases of ClaimCenter with Elysian and Flen. So let's go ahead and cover some of those things now. Now, managing payments and disbursements are a critical aspect of every insurer's business. And we understand that this is extremely important to each and every one of you as well, right? You want to remove that friction from the payment process, and that's why we've added payment pre-approvals to ClaimCenter. Payment pre-approvals empower adjusters to streamline claims disbursements, also known as claims payments, without the need for unnecessary supervisor approvals on each claim payments. Now, by default, ClaimCenter allows you to set and manage payment authority limits for each adjuster. Now, these authority limits ensure that a payment exceeding a predefined monetary threshold requires supervisor approval. Now, these authority limits work well for small and specific payments, but in some cases, adjusters need to make multiple payments that may exceed their authority limits rather quickly, requiring numerous supervisor approvals. So with payment pre-approvals, supervisors can specify payment limits based on approved reserves. So this allows adjusters to override their default authority limits for a particular claim or claim type. This capability is really designed to help insurers remove those unnecessary and redundant payment approval requests to accelerate claims payments and ultimately increase customer satisfaction. Now, we touched up on a little bit on experiences, and when we talk about experiences, we're not just thinking about experiences for the policyholder alone. We're thinking about experiences for the application user as well. So what we've done in the recent releases is we've helped create a more fluid application experience for all users with application accessibility features. So we've added native application support for tooltips, new currency widgets for checks, recoveries, and bulk invoices. Now, these features really are designed to help you deliver a more accessible application experience for all your users, as well as meet those regional and international standards for accessibility and usability. Now, we've been on a mission with our core products, including ClaimCenter, to enable and embed data and analytics directly into workflows to really drive efficiency and automate processes. Embedded analytics in ClaimCenter are really designed to help claims organizations make the right decision in the moment. And we're continuing to enhance and add new analytics capabilities to equip you to deliver new avenues and opportunities to drive intelligent decisions across core processes. In Elysian, we actually introduced weather discrepancy alerts, which you saw, again, on the main stage, which enable you to automatically identify and flag suspicious claims with weather inconsistencies. At first notice of loss due to severe weather, ClaimCenter automatically queries Guidewire Canvas to validate and confirm weather-related losses such as hail, wind, storm, and other weather-related information, and proactively alerts adjusters directly within ClaimCenter of potential inconsistencies. In Flen, what we've done is we've enhanced this capability to expand to other regions as well as countries. So it covers multiple regions as well. This capability is really designed to reduce leakage from opportunistic fraud by flagging suspicious claims with weather discrepancies and for further investigation, and then allow you to fast-track those claims with confirmed weather losses. Now, continuing with the theme of driving intelligent decisions, we've added predictive scoring for collision subrogation. This capability automatically scores claims for subrogation likelihood and alerts adjusters, again, directly within ClaimCenter of high-risk indicators. This is based off of 2.4 million claims from our Compare customers. This capability is designed to run at exposure open and provides granular insights into contributing factors for both personal, commercial, auto, for US and Canada. The collision subrogation score not only helps you increase those subrogation recoveries, but also improves both claim processing and efficiency. Now, as our customers migrate to Guidewire Cloud, it's really a critical need for our customers to be able to monitor the performance of their core application. Now, monthly or even weekly reports are just not going to cut it. Right? That's why we're giving you real-time application performance data with integrated data in Datadog. I know you folks may have heard about Datadog in the keynote, but what exactly is Datadog? Now, Datadog is a monitoring and analytics tool primarily used for IT and DevOps that's used to analyze application performance data for cloud services. So this capability will allow your IT and DevOps teams to visualize ClaimCenter application data for performance tracking, event monitoring, and application debugging. So what does that mean? We actually have created claim-specific dashboards within Datadog that help your team identify performance bottleneck for intake, authentication, search, just to name a few. Users can explore, query, and filter this data for rapid application troubleshooting to help your claims organization maintain peak application performance. So kind of eliminating downtime is kind of the primary capability with this. And we've been investing heavily in our integration framework to help you simplify integrations and accelerate data sharing. We've delivered many of these capabilities on every single release. In Elysian, we released the integration gateway for general availability. In Flen, we introduced app events, which create a clear separation of integration logic between ClaimCenter and external sources. Now, we're continuing to now add new APIs coverages throughout the claim lifecycle as well. We added support for property content, claim archiving, multi-currency, just to name a few. We're also helping reduce API payloads with composite APIs that batch multiple API requests into a single API call. So what that does is it allows you to remove that overload of a server or a application. Furthermore, we've added support for custom APIs as well, endpoints that will allow insurers to continue to accelerate innovation with those custom endpoint integrations. So our cloud integration framework and API-first approach is really designed to help you accelerate digital transformation and empower you to take an innovative approach to building your own ecosystem, right? And you probably heard on the keynote that ecosystem is a really critical aspect of what we're trying to deliver here at Guidewire, and be an open platform. So this is how the integration framework really plays a big part in that, to help us to continue to build those partnerships with insurtechs and solution partners. And we'll actually be sharing a little more information if you want to learn a little bit more on the cloud integration framework a little bit later in this slide for related sessions. So that covers my part. I'm going to hand it over to Jeremy to cover some of the critical imperatives that we're actually focused on as we think about the future of claims. Jeremy?
Thank you, Harmon. All right. So thank you, Harmon. We're very proud of the work that we delivered in Alicia and Flynn, but we're even more excited about the work that's coming ahead. This is really what's keeping our team up at night, and we remain more devoted than ever to work with our customers and our partners to really shape the future of P&C claims. So with the remaining time today, I'm going to share some of the key investment areas that we're looking to deliver over the next several releases. Just to touch on what Harmon covered earlier, our vision for claims continues to be hyper-focused on delivering the most intelligent claims system that manages the world's insurers to provide exceptional claims experiences. And in working with our best-of-breed Guidewire ClaimCenter, we're focused on these 4 primary areas to achieve this vision. Now, Harmon already spoke a little bit as to the new capabilities that we delivered in Alicia and Flynn that really relate to intelligence and ecosystem. So I'm going to focus more on the top areas, experiences, and automation as we look at what's coming ahead. So with experiences, we're going to deliver new digital experiences that are going to be more customer-centric. And as I'll show you very shortly, we've got some very cool, exciting new capabilities that will help transform the internal user experience for both business and IT. For automation, Claims Autopilot will continue to drive workflows and orchestrate the entire automation process for insurers, while simultaneously we want to make sure that it's, of course, providing the level of configurability, tooling, integrations, and of course the security that you all require. Now, to help each and every one of you succeed during this time that we know is filled with unprecedented change, we're going to continue investing heavily across these 4 areas, including intelligence and ecosystem. And as we look at the shape of P&C claims as they are today, we're going to go ahead and start by showing you what we have planned for automation. Okay, so we're continuing to invest heavily in Claims Autopilot over the next several releases, and we're doing this first by powering automation at the platform level so that it can provide a more robust autopilot experience. But what does this really mean? Well, it means first and foremost, we're providing a platform solution that will give insurers the ability to automate their own specific processes, and we're starting with claims. To enable this, we're building a workflow service for Autopilot that will allow insurers, again, to design their own automation workflows based on BPMN standards, which is a very common business process modeling standard. And that same platform solution that our engineers use to develop the service will be made available to our customers. And this means that you'll have the same tooling to create and build your own specific flows, so they'll be just as powerful and integrated as the ones that we build. For example, you'll have the ability to use drag-and-drop interfaces like one you see here to configure your workflows for easily building out automation. In the picture you see here, you can see an example of what a workflow might look like, where each shape represents either an action or decision point that is driven by either APIs, cloud rules, even activities in ClaimCenter. And each of these shapes will be easily configurable via a properties panel like the one you see here on the right, or scripting for more technical configurations. Trust us, we know that customers want a highly configurable solution to support your own specific processes and to have the tooling that makes it easier both for IT and business teams to be able to modify those flows. So this remains top of mind for us as we continue to build out Autopilot and making sure that it's, of course, operating on a secure platform that can easily integrate with other systems. The next thing, which we're thrilled about, and we think all of you will be too, because we've heard about it forever now, but we're going to deliver pre-built templates to help jumpstart your claims automation. And these will be made available on the Guidewire Marketplace. So these templates will come with pre-built automation workflows for Autopilot. And because they're productized by Guidewire, they're also going to help reduce overall implementation times and accelerate time to value for our customers. Additionally, you'll be able to download them and use as is, or you can, of course, modify them to support your own specific business needs. Like I mentioned, we're going to make these available on the Guidewire Marketplace, but over time, and I think this is really cool, we're actually going to have customers and partners publish their own templates that others will be able to leverage as well. Our first automation template will target high-frequency, low-severity claims for auto physical damage. Eventually, we plan to support, of course, all claim types and lines of business. And we're doing this all because we understand that getting started with claims automation is obviously a large task. So to take away some of that burden, we are trying to simplify this process as much as possible for all of you. We want you to feel comfortable at the end of the day in making that leap rather than sooner rather than later, knowing that the industry as a whole is moving to this automation-first approach. And at the end of the day, we also want to make sure that we're making life easier for your claims personnel, right? By giving them back time to focus on the things that really matter most and require their expertise. As a former claims adjuster, I can't tell you how many times I thought to myself, why am I having to continuously take time out of my crazy schedule to do a repetitive, monotonous task that a system should be able to do, instead of focusing on what matters most, which is really providing the best level of experience to your customers, right? So that is what we expect Autopilot to be able to do, right? And having been there, this is why I get so excited with what we have coming ahead. Now, switching gears, but equally exciting, we are going to leverage the power of Advanced Product Designer so insurers can deliver more dynamic and adaptable claims experiences. There's a lot of talk about this morning, as I'm sure you noticed. Today, APD defines the insurance product for PolicyCenter and allows new lines of business to be launched into market in only a fraction of the time. But we want to make it even better and to take that next step, which is to ensure that all these same capabilities are going to be delivered for ClaimCenter and can be leveraged by your claims organizations. So our focus will start by empowering business users with dynamic visualization tools to design, deploy, and manage new claims products. And to accomplish this, we're going to provide non-technical design tools, such as the use of mind maps, like the one you see here, to capture product requirements in a more structured format. We know that insurers also want to move to a product-driven organization now more than ever, and APD will help product, underwriting, and claims teams clearly understand the product definition. So all the terms, all the coverages, all the exclusions, et cetera, without having to read through and decipher complex underwriting manuals or rate filings. Every aspect of the product definition can be easily understood and shared amongst your teams so everyone is in step as you quickly launch and evolve your new products. Now, by help bridging this gap between IT and business, insurers will be able to more easily deploy new products into their claims ecosystems, which include the product models, the APIs, the UI screens, and even the claim intake flows, as we'll show you shortly, that are associated with them, therefore drastically reducing product launch times. And similar to our automation templates, we're going to provide pre-built Guidewire Go templates that are made available on our marketplace. So customers will be able to download a particular line of business and already have a starting point to work from once it gets imported into the APD app. This has already been done for PolicyCenter, so now we're going to take the next step and update it for the templates to make them work with ClaimCenter. We really can't emphasize the value that we see this having for all of you out here. Essentially, this means that now we'll be able to rapidly deploy new claims products in a matter of days or weeks instead of months. And we've already started this work in Elation for APD for claims. We're really excited with the progress so far. But some of the next items that we plan to work on in the near term include policy search and retrieve capabilities and enabling more reusability of data in ClaimCenter. And finally, I mentioned it already, but as insurers design their new claims product at inception with APD, they'll also be able to automatically generate all the claim intake process as well, such as the question libraries and the initial flows that come with that. And we're able to accomplish this through our Jutro design system. Again, I'm sure you heard a lot about that this morning, which is a collection of UI elements, rules, principles, and best practices for design. And it also provides insurers with streamlined configuration tools so that they can easily customize and deploy their digital claims intake experience. If you haven't noticed the trend already, we're going to continue to deliver pre-built templates for first notice of loss so that for claims that only require basic information, this is going to be a great way to help jumpstart your digital transformation. And again, we already started this work by delivering our initial first notice of loss template for auto physical damage claims, which went EA and FLEN, so that with a single click, insurers will now be able to automatically generate a claim intake flow within a web application or an embedded UI. Similar to the automation templates over the next several releases, we're going to continue focusing on building out the first notice of loss templates so that they will work with other claim types and lines of business as well. Now, I know Harmon and I just kind of threw a lot at you, so I think it's always better to show you how we envision these pieces working together. So we've prepared a short demo of an end-to-end flow that ties in many of the capabilities that we shared with you today. So we're talking about APD for claims, Jutro, claim intake, our workflow service, all of which, of course, working in conjunction with ClaimCenter. Okay. So Future State, a regional US insurer, is looking to expand into another state with its personal auto line. To start the process, the Future State team visits the Guidewire marketplace where the predefined Guidewire Go product templates are made available. They quickly find the USA personal auto product, download the template, and import it into Advanced Product Designer, or APD for short. The APD app allows Future State to use dynamic product visualization tools to design, deploy, and manage new insurance products. A business analyst begins by opening the new product in APD to determine if any claim-specific changes are required for Future State's business needs. For example, they can review the vehicle-level coverages, like we see here, and select whether they're associated with first or third party, as well as which exposure types that the coverages should map to. After the claim-specific changes are made in APD, a front-end developer joins the business analyst to review the claim intake flow associated with their new product. Together, they realize that they need to add a new question to confirm if insureds have made any vehicle modifications, since this could impact OEM coverage on their claims. They proceed with adding a new question about vehicle modifications, and we'll save their changes. Later, we'll see how this appears during the claim intake process when a new claim gets filed. But once they're satisfied, they'll deploy the product to ClaimCenter, where the product model, the UI screens, and the APIs are automatically generated in just minutes. They're thrilled to see that this all takes place in a fraction of the time now, and as a result, drastically reducing their time to market and eliminating dependencies on their IT resources. With it now deployed, the last step for Future State is to set up their automation workflows that are specific to the new product. They launched the Workflow Designer tool, which allows Future State to quickly design and modify claim-specific workflows for Autopilot. Here we can see an example workflow already created for Future State's other auto products. But Future State wants to enhance part of the workflow now for their new personal auto product. So a developer updates it to create an activity for adjuster review whenever there's a medium or high probability of a weather discrepancy. This will also temporarily stop claims automation until an adjuster completes their manual review. The workflow gets saved, and now Autopilot is ready to handle. So everything has now been set up so that claims can be filed against the new product. To show you what this looks like, we'll transition to Jess, a policyholder with Future State, who needs to file a new claim for weather-related damage. Jess launches the Future State mobile app and starts filing her claim details by inputting loss information. She gets to a question about vehicle modification, the same question that was just added earlier, to determine if her Future State policy can extend OEM coverage. Because her car has never been modified from the original manufacturer's parts, she selects no and proceeds to submit her claim. Now back in ClaimCenter, Jess's claim has already been received, and Autopilot has begun executing the initial flow for automating her claim. We can see that Autopilot is listed as the claim owner, and initial activities, exposures, and reserves have been automatically created on the claim. And because of that change that was made earlier in Workflow Designer, we can see here that Autopilot automatically created an activity for adjuster review based on the information provided by Jess during intake. So the claim is temporarily kicked out of automation while the adjuster further investigates. In this case, the adjuster eventually confirms that the damage is in fact storm-related, and they will choose to click Return to Autopilot to proceed with automation. As Autopilot continues to process the claim, Future State Smart Estimating integration has automatically sent back an initial estimate based on photos that Jess provided during intake. Since these damages fall within the approval threshold defined for Autopilot, the estimate is approved and the claim proceeds to the final step of issuing payment. Future State knows their policyholders want choice when it comes to how they get paid. So to provide the highest level of customer service, Future State has integrated with the payment provider, and the initial settlement offer gets sent to Jess via her preferred method of communication. She accepts the offer, and the payment is automatically deposited into her bank account. So in this end-to-end demo, you saw how Future State leveraged APD and the Guidewire Go templates to quickly launch and customize their new personal auto line. They also leveraged the power of Autopilot and embedded analytics to automate and streamline the entire claim process. We are excited to deliver many of these capabilities highlighted in this demo in both Flen as well as future releases for ClaimCenter. And with that, that will conclude our demo.
So that was mostly PNC focused. Is there a timeline for when that might land in like the comp line or?
Any specific part? That
like with the Autopilot and the.
So right now, well, we are looking at PNC,
right.
But comp, I would imagine workers' comp is what you're asking. Okay, so we are focused on simple use cases just to get the ball rolling, right? And we have selected high frequency, low severity claims with the intent that that will be a starting point, and we plan, of course, to move on to other different types of claim types and lines of business. And one of the key things that we've heard from the customers that we've spoken to over the last year is really, all of our customers require a lot of configurability, right, for each line of business, for each special process that all of you have. So we want to be able to accommodate that for as many of our customers as possible, which is why we are focusing so much on the platform aspect, so that we're giving you the tools to do what you need to in order to automate your specific flows. And with that, yes, we have these templates as well that we're working on that we, of course, have every intent for that to handle, workers' comp as a line of business, for example. So
if you're starting simple, don't start with comp.
Yeah, that was our logic.
Yep, thanks.
So just to add
please.
to that, the templates are basically the things we're hoping we can nail down that are a little easier, a little more similar on every company. You get to the more complicated things, I think we're more interested in providing the toolkit for you to do. And Autopilot, just to be clear, is something we don't think of as a binary decision. It's not, are we using Autopilot or not? We fully expect to get to the point that most claims are handled by Autopilot, at least in part, right? That's the goal. The goal is that the Autopilot is involved in everything. It's just there are going to be the cases like this one we have just shown where we think Autopilot really should be able to handle. Okay. Front to back, most of those claims only pop out when there are exceptions. You get more complicated claims, Autopilot's more going to be like a helper, and it's going to require manual handling.
But we would also expect it to be, there's going to be some flows as part of more complex lines that we expect Autopilot to be able to handle. It might not be straight through process necessarily, but there are bits and pieces of every claim that I think kind of carry over to the next that we're looking to address those as well as low-hanging fruit, repetitive steps that take place on every claim. A payment is on every claim, so or most claims. So anyway, good question.
Yeah. So is there a plan to take existing setups and transition them into the templates as part of an upgrade process? The data that you enter into the template now is entered in the centers. A lot of it is set up already in the centers.
The like the out-of-the-box stuff that comes with ClaimCenter.
You set up exposures. You set up all of these different component parts in your business settings when you go live. Is there a process to put that into the templates as far as an upgrade goes?
Yeah, I think. give Reshma.
Hi, my name is Reshma. I lead the Claims PM team. Thank you for your question. I think what you're referring to is if you have any existing automation, maybe it's rule-based or, did I read that right? Or are we going to translate that into our first set of templates?
Yeah.
Line of business, yeah, line of business model. Are you going to take that line of business model and move it into the templates as part of the process?
So part of how we're building Autopilot, though, is this toolkit will go along with it. This is why Autopilot or workflow with GuideWire, we should be able to integrate into ClaimCenter better than anybody else can, right? Part of that is making sure that we have the connections into ClaimCenter, the right LOB data that has to go into ClaimCenter, et cetera. So that is part of how we are building Autopilot and the claims templates. It will have that information in it as well. As far as upgradable from what you have now, like we're doing with APD, we start with kind of the easiest things, the things that we can get customer validation from first, and then as we layer on more and more complex use cases, we sort of augment the product like that. So to the extent that anybody wants to work with us on more complicated use cases, both for APD for claims, for Autopilot, please come see us, and maybe we can talk about being one of our early access customers, which we have a few right now, early access customers, but we're always happy to address and take on more.
Fantastic.
So I actually had two questions. One that kind of came up since all these questions were being asked. Is there going to be some training around Autopilot planned? Like, these are really great sessions, but will there be some training that'll be offered to the customers so we can better understand how to use these tools ourselves?
Absolutely. As Jeremy mentioned, a lot of what we're building out now with Autopilot, we have a couple of customers that are in early access with us. We haven't really broadly opened up the early access. I think that will happen in the Garmisch release. That's the G release in the spring of 2023. And at that time, we will sort of roll out these enablement sessions. As we get more and more customers involved, definitely before we go generally available, we will have that type of enablement and content available to learn how to use these. So yes, we will.
Thank you. My other question was, I saw this morning in one of the keynotes around using the Canvas data, and you showed it here as well, to be able to trigger activities. Does that then, would carriers be working with the analytics team to get access to would you need access to Canvas through like the analytics piece in order to take advantage of that?
Canvas is part of our analytics portfolio of products. So yes, you would. And then the integration, we've kind of made sure that we can integrate that with ClaimCenter. So that part, once you have Canvas, that part should go smoother.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there's also a single use case that you get as a GuideWire Cloud customer running ClaimCenter. So you can leverage that to use this predictive analytics capability. So.
We have a ClaimCenter only. Can we use this Autopilot, or do we have to have as an insurance suite, all the products to use Autopilot?
You can use Autopilot with ClaimCenter Cloud, because what you need is the workflow designer. That's a platform level service that we're building on cloud.
Okay. Is it generally available, or is it
It's not generally available yet. Autopilot is in early access right now. We're working with one customer very closely. Another customer will start shortly. We have a list of customers who are keen to work with us, so we'll systematically go through and see which are the best use cases that we can tackle. And then our goal is to do a more general early access. We'll open it up to more customers in early access mode in Garmisch in the G release. And then our GA date will depend on those implementations. The way we like to work is if we get those customers live and successful in production, and then we can make it generally available. So again, you saw the safe harbor slide, but if I were to put a magic ball out there, probably the end of next year is when we might go generally available. But that all depends on how our early access program and our customers work out over the next few months.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Hope you have the great time at the rest of Connections.
Thank you.